other than focusing on what's happening now?
I would answer that question
Mark
if
Dice,
just
shout
that
out.
media would talk about my answer. This is about as bad as Nancy Pelosi saying that Congress needed
Shout
to
out
pass
to Mark
Obamacare
Dice.
so that us little people could then.
His YouTube is Mark Dice, million and a half subscribers. Awesome content about how the media influences politics. So, if you're new to my channel, I'm Master Lukey. I'm a former UFC fighter. I got mild traumatic brain injury from repeated subconcussive impact. And I created a new system of doing mixed martial arts with no head contact and points for action instead of damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the world building this sport, this new update to the sport, and save a lot of lives because brain injury is deadly. Not to mention all the other injuries that you can get doing MMA. I'm going to spin off of Master Lukey's League of Champions. That's the name of my martial arts brand. I'm going to spin off of that line of commercial health food to save the planet in terms of all the diseases that's caused by what's people eating and the environmental destruction. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. Because after I make my name in fitness and nutrition, I'm going to go political. And I'm going to make junk food illegal. That's what I'm going to run on. The idea that people can be profiting off of something that's hurting others and hurting the environment. Okay, this air that we breathe doesn't belong to us. You can't spray pesticides. You can't do chemtrails to harvest water. You can't pollute the soil and the waterways with animal runoff. That's illegal, in my opinion. Alright, so I have a theory. I have my own conspiracy theory about the government and how I've been selected. I've been pre-selected for this role. And I get communications on my cell phone because it's public record on my website. So if you're not a conspiracy theorist, you could say, oh, well, it's just some random person texting you. If you're a conspiracy theorist like me, I believe it's somebody like Q, except for me. My own personal Q, so I want to thank you for sending me this link here. It's called What's Behind the Rise of QAnon in the United Kingdom. So, I hope you can read that. I'll try and get my head out of it. And we'll just zoom in on that. How about that? I'll just zoom in here and I'll read. Okay. Is that alright? You let me know. So like I said, my number's available on my website. That's masterlukey.com. If you have any questions about what I'm reading here, or anything in particular, anything in general, you hit me up anytime. So, Q, if you don't know, let's just see what this article says. Okay, so the first thing we have here is, oh, look at that supercar. Dang. QAnon, rocking the Lambo. Hell yeah. So, this is a picture of a Save the Children rally in the United Kingdom, okay? And what they have is Pizzagate, hot dog, the spirals, okay? So these are symbols of child abuse. Now, I'm going to relate everything back to Master Lukey brand because that's what I'm about, okay? I'm not in QAnon. I'm not in Pizzagate. I study and I bring everything under my brand. Because the people who are doing this, the people who are running this car, the people at the protester, we don't have any confirmation that they are operating with whole brain functioning. And that can only happen on a Life Food certified menu. Okay, so there's my certification. I'm the only one. That comes from Dr. David Jubb. It's the most advanced, scientifically advanced menu ever. And if you're not on it, there's no guarantee that your brain's working right. And it has to do with the brain of the gut, okay? But I just want to get like a good that you can read, you know? I'm sorry that this is like underground bullshit, but this way it's got to be right now. So, okay, so now how does this relate to Master Lukey? Now, I'm in martial arts, right? You go to a martial arts gym and you have a birthday party, they're going to give you pizza. Pizza is the #1 food in the world because it's so cheap, and it's also the worst food in the world because it's so deadly. You have the grains in the dough, okay, and that causes brain damage by burning the intestinal lining. You have gluten, which everybody's heard about, but that's only one. Gluten is only one of many compounds, and you know, people have survived on grains, but over time it's going to burn you out. And it messes with people's behavior because there's not enough neurotransmitters, and you can end up with a leaky gut where these proteins like gluten get into the bloodstream and really make people go crazy. Did you know that LSD, the very powerful hallucinogen, is created by a mold that's in barley? Okay? So that's just one, barley, but wheat is another one, and people go crazy on this stuff. For real, for real. So that's pizza. Now, if you can see here, the next one is hot dog. Oh, the dairy also. The dairy in the pizza. Okay? Now, the dairy causes heart disease. It's also responsible for the #1 cause of environmental destruction in the world, and that's the animal agriculture industry. So even if you're vegetarian in India, which is supposedly a spiritual behavior, if you're an Indian and you're doing dairy, like milk and cheese and butter, you're killing the planet and you're killing yourself, because the dairy causes heart disease, and that's the #1 killer of people. So dairy's really the worst. Grains is the worst. They're both in pizza. So pizza's the worst of the worst. It just so happens to be the easiest and the most favorite. And I'm against all pizza, unless it's Master Lukey brand. Pizzagate is the worldwide trafficking of children, and also a satanic ritual to eat them. And it could be a metaphor, but it doesn't have to be. But it is already that kids are abused by their parents and people who are feeding them this shit. This one also has the, what do you call it? Pepperoni, and that'll take us to the hot dog. Okay? The #1 killer of children in the world is cancer. And cured meats is the #1 most cancerous thing that people eat and feed to kids. Cured meats, hot dogs, burgers, cold cuts. It's just ridiculously disgusting that somebody would do that to a child. And that is satanic, because it's selfish. I've spoken to parents at the gym and in my own life, and they say stuff like, oh, well, you know, Johnny's a picky eater. You know, Johnny likes Happy Meals. Don't bullshit. You're feeding the kid what you want to eat. Okay? You trained that kid from the day they were born. You created a microsystem of bacteria in the gut based on what you fed them, what you were eating while you were pregnant, and then the formula or the breast milk has the bacteria in it, and through our whole life we're just brainwashed. Literally, talk about the brain of the gut. The gut becomes changed depending on what you eat. And you can do a bit of healing. You can change this around. And that's what I'm here for. So, the spiral has to do with creation. Because, you know, you have the yin-yang. That's a form of a spiral. And then these symbols are used apparently by pedophiles and sickos. So that's my Q theory. I mean, my Save the Children theory. My Save the Children hashtag is about saving them from the food that you gave them, or the quote food. You know, the cereal, the chips, all this stuff, the ice cream, the stuff that people love to get kids addicted to on Saturday morning cartoon commercials. I'm just going to read the rest of this article now. A wide-ranging conspiracy theory about elite Satan-worshipping pedophiles has migrated from the U.S., inspiring a series of regular street protests. It's called Save Our Children rallies in the UK. So the elite means the rich. They pay for, you know, these kids who've been trafficked, whether they're from a poor country or kidnapped. And they have sex with the kids, and then they kill them in a Satan-worshipping ceremony to drink their blood and shit. On a sunny day in late August, nearly 500 people gathered in London at an event held by the group Freedom for the Children, United Kingdom. Yes, free them from the shackles of food addiction, of chemical addiction. You know, when you hook a kid on junk food, and then the resulting diseases that come about, your fucking solution to that is pills, right? You got to pop your antibiotics because the gut microbiome is all fucked. You got this shitty bacteria in there from rotting meat and dairy and fucking grains and shit, and the kid is rotting out from the inside. Oh, so you got to pop pills to fix that. Okay, what kind of mentality are you creating in a society where the answer is to pop pills? What's up, Pop?
Yeah, besides battery.
I don't really have batteries. I don't think. Wait, let me check in here. Wait. I got one more place where they might be. You need them right now? I can give you out of a remote.
What do you mean remote?
I have a TV remote. You can take them out.
Just for a few minutes.
Is it over there? Where is it? Oh, it's under the bed. Sorry.
It's like, like not even 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's right here, right here.
Your AAA?
You need 3?
3. You get 3 or 2?
1.
You get 2. Maybe you can just match.
2. Hold on, I got another remote. Here you go.
Here's the question: what do you do with the dead batteries? You can't throw them away.
You can't? Wrap them. Battery, please, from Jesse. The green, please.
Yeah. No. They're supposed to be poisonous in the environment or something. Technically illegal.
Okay. Oh, here's your keys, too.
Everything you want?
What's that?
Everything you want?
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So, what you have is a system now where kids are taught, to pop pills in terms of chewable vitamins, supplements, what else? Xanax, you know, Molly, Oxys, Roxys, I don't know. I never did any of that shit. The only thing I did was medical marijuana. I smoked it as a teenager, and then I got into making medical edibles. When I learned I had depression from brain injury, they wanted to put me on pills. You know, they wanted to put me on lithium. But thankfully, Dr. Jubb saved my life, and I'm forever, you know, gonna honor that by continuing the legacy of the medicine person. And I'm a fighter. I'm fighting against all this shit, these pills and shit. So, save the children. That's what the crowd's chanting when they're marching through London. The ethnically diverse crowd. Okay? Ethnically diverse. I'm in America. My family's from Sicily. I don't consider myself Italian. I consider myself native. And that doesn't mean American either. That means I was born pure from God. I could have been born in Africa. I could have been born in Australia. I could have been born in Japan. I could have been born on the fucking North Pole. I'm native to this land. And I have God-given rights to refuse vaccination, to refuse junk food, and to fight for the rights of all innocent people who don't know any better. Ethnically diverse. Wherever you are in the world, I'm fighting for you. Mostly young people, you know, because as people get older, they get set in their ways. The intestine becomes crystallized. They get all stiff. It's very hard for somebody like that to change. But the youth is the future. Women also and children, okay? At the head of the march was Laura and Lucy. Hell yeah. She said she underwent a spiritual awakening during the lockdown. Yeah, maybe because you saw that the sickos would do anything and they don't care about what we think. The sickos in power. I'm in New York. We got Governor Cuomo locking everybody down, saying he wants to vaccinate the whole state. Ho ho, come at me, bro. Come at me with a needle. See what happens. She created a Facebook group, quote, to promote and organize peaceful events that raise awareness of child exploitation and human trafficking. Alright, child exploitation is pretty easy. You know, the biggest slice of the marketplace is women shopping for their families. That's where the most money is spent online. And advertisers are like vampires. They want to suck your blood. They want to take your health away by selling you their garbage products. And they don't care about your health after that. You're a number to them. Thousands of followers in just a few weeks. Hell yeah, let's go, baby. The London March was just one of 10 rallies across the UK. Alright, these got Save the Children. You see, as far as branding goes, there's too much going on here. You know, you're walking by somebody, it's going to be tough for them to read that, but we got here 33,000 emails deleted. That's Hillary Clinton. She's a high witch doing the satanic rituals, drinking the blood and eating the children. Adrenochrome, supposedly, you know, there's other elements in the blood that they drink, but some people think it's for adrenochrome. It's more than that. Save our children. Pizzagate is real. Save our children. Can't be a conspiracy if it's true. Okay? Now, here's where QAnon comes in. The organizers say it's not directly linked. Save the Children is not directly linked with QAnon. And this is the BBC News, so you're not going to get an unbiased opinion. They're saying it's a baseless pro-Trump conspiracy theory. So apparently being pro-Trump is bad, and they say it's baseless. This is BBC, okay? This is a owned media. The people that own this company, this website, they have stock, and they're major shareholders in all the junk food companies. These are the wicked elite. They're drinking your baby's blood. And what I'm saying here is a metaphor that they're profiting off of the things that cause your kids to get cancer. That's the number one killer of kids. Cancer. Number one killer. It's not gun accidents. Okay? It's not overexposure to television and Fortnite. Okay? It's the food. The food is what's killing the kids. And the drugs after that. Okay, so this website's saying it's evidence-free. I don't know if you can read that. Evidence-free. Which, you know, I've been following QAnon a little bit, and I get a little frustrated that all these, you know, things are supposed to be happening. Just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. All the while, fucking Project Warp Speed is underway. They're building the vaccines, you know, to shoot up the fucking kids and everybody. And everybody's got to wear a mask. And, you know, I can have hope. That's the one amazing teaching of Native tradition, is to always have hope. And that's apparently all I got right now. Okay, QAnon began life on Extreme. Okay, oh, Extreme. What's an Extreme message board? In 2017. Do people even do message boards anymore? It's an unfounded conspiracy theory that claims President Trump is secretly battling a clandestine network of Satan-worshipping elites who run a child trafficking ring. Yeah, damn right they do. It's a ring of poisoning the kids and putting them in the fucking system of junk food and drugs and surgery. Where did it come from? QAnon is a person writing cryptic messages claiming to have top secret clearance within the U.S. government. Told followers to, quote, trust the plan for a, quote, great awakening. The messages have predicted mass arrests or purges of top officials, and none of it has come true. See, that's the problem. Some people claim, you know, that all these celebrities have disappeared. Oh, excuse me. Like Oprah's miraculously disappeared. Tom Hanks apparently disappeared. You know, we don't know. What is Save the Children? Until this year, it was confined to the internet, but then came the pandemic. QAnon influencers took advantage of the fact that many people were at home and living online. Surveys show that the number of Americans who know about QAnon and support it have increased substantially this year. In light of this, several major networks, including Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, began restricting QAnon terms, phrases, and hashtags. Holy. Talk about communism. You can't speak out against the government. Because Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok apparently are privately owned companies. So they can do what they want. But look, the government is we the people, okay? That is TikTok, fucking Facebook, and Twitter, and Instagram. That's we the people. You can't do that. Anybody who's censoring on those platforms, you're evil. I'm taking you down, punk. Urged by a Q message to, quote, learn the use of camouflage digitally, followers avoided direct references to QAnon and began hijacking well-known established hashtags and phrases such as hashtag Save the Children and hashtag Save Our Children. There it is. This guy says WWG1 WWGA. It means where we go one, where we go all. And I agree with that. You know, it's like a wave of consciousness, and people like us, we just happen to to be on the edge of that wave. We're the mist. There's a big wave coming. I believe it. BBC and analysis based on data showed that in the last 3 months, the two hashtags were used a total of 1.5 million times on Twitter and generated more than 28 million likes, retweets, and comments. And outside the US, the British followers lead the way. The analysis from the last 3 months puts the UK ahead of all European countries. After that is Germany and the Netherlands. I know RFK just did a protest in Germany against vaccines and the medical industry. Quote medical. It's not real medicine. It should be called the drug industry. Drugs and surgery. They want to slice you, dice you, and pour acid over your fucking corpse. Sickos. They're all on drugs. It takes away their humanity. All the Adderall that doctors take when they're in school, you know, it's meth. They're thinking like Nazi troops. They just want to blitzkrieg everybody into taking a fucking vaccine. And they don't care if how many thousands of people have to get side effects of myelitis and can't move anymore. As long as they get their product out there and make a profit, they can't be sued. And Trump's in on it. Bought and paid for. His whole family. I'm not for Trump. I am against Kamala Harris, though, so I'll probably vote for Trump. Just FYI, if you want to know. Okay, Mark Andre Argentino. He says he identified 114 groups that have branded themselves as anti-child trafficking, but in reality, they're actually QAnon. Okay? Let's see. Charlie Ward, British YouTube influencer. He's a QAnon celebrity. He's got 170,000 subscribers. Nice. Okay, how did it take off? Let's see. The lady who organized this protest, she started by posting on David Icke and QAnon influencers. During the lockdown, the protests, the George Floyd protests, on the posts about lockdown, George Floyd, and child trafficking. She says, I feel like I'm going up against something so powerful, I want to change it. She tweeted at a QAnon influencer from Canada. A few weeks later, she set up the FFTC UK Facebook group with the aim of launching a similar movement. By the end, Save Our Children rallies were held more than 200 towns and cities around the world. Hell yeah. Freedom for the Children UK. There you go. 13,000 members. Let's see. Why is QAnon spreading? Well, I'm going to fast forward here. A number of national controversies and scandals in relation to elite child abuse had already primed the UK for a rise of conspiratorial narratives. Activists in the UK have easily woven British issues such as Operation U-Tree, investigations into historical child sex abuse, into Q narratives. Long before the birth of QAnon, prominent British conspiracy theorists have promoted ideas about elite, occult pedophile circles engaging in large-scale child trafficking and abuse, and British activists are drawing on this broader tradition. And the upheaval of the pandemic created a perfect storm which helped QAnon find common ground with the COVID-19 conspiracists. Public trust in institutions has declined in the UK in recent years. Yeah, I wonder why, because you're abusing everyone, you sickos. And has been exacerbated by the handling of the pandemic. Well, look, we know who's in charge, and it's not the government. It's actually the drug industry who's sending orders down through the CDC and the WHO, which are not government institutions, They're private businesses. And they bribe the government, the people in the government, to get their little sticky fingers in policy. And that's why you have CDC recommendations running the show here in America and WHO bullshit in the UK. This has provided ideal conditions for the conspiracy theories to spread. Yeah. Okay. Where we go one, where we go one, we go all. What do we believe in? Okay, let's see. Disney. The Disney is part of it. Okay. Shame on Disney. Yeah, well, the Disney does a lot of brainwashing, don't they, through their movies? Yeah, they do. It's social engineering through media and the chemicals in the food and then the chemicals in the drugs and the surgery. And this is what I'm fighting against. When I say save the children, I'm fighting against mainly nutrition and the head trauma from fighting. But let me see something here, because Rick just commented. I'm going to go to my channel. This way I can see the chat, because the way my phone is blocking it. What do you think about the fact that the WHO just admitted the Gates Foundation in Africa caused polio with their vaccines? Wow. I gotta type that up. Gates vaccine cause polio in Africa. Polio vaccine causing polio outbreaks in Africa. Wow. Vaccine-derived polio spreads in Africa after defeat of wild virus. Yeah, okay, they defeated the wild virus. Right. Mutation of strain in vaccine. Oh my God. Well, look, you have the modern germ theory, which is complete and utter fraud. And that's running the show. That's the sand that the whole house is built on. The whole idea that germs is causing the disease is bullshit. The people are getting polio because it's coming from inside them. Their body's breaking down into the virus because they're eating garbage and they're living in filth. And that's what eradicated polio to begin with, which was sanitation. And the immune system is on the skin. The immune system is in your aura. The immune system is not just in the blood with white blood cells. We have a healthy bacterial coating. And if you inject past that and you go right into the bloodstream, you're really fucking with something that you shouldn't. And Bill Gates is a wicked, wicked, evil person. And his family is evil. And they're the ones that came up with abortion because they wanted to get rid of the blacks and the Jews and the Italians. They didn't want them to breed, so they came up with abortion. You'd be surprised at the percentage of people using abortion as birth control after the fact. It's almost never used in emergency like they claim it is. Never. The only time they use abortion is for birth control after the fact and for harvesting babies for their satanic rituals. What happened? Thank you, Rick. Adrenochrome, okay, that's supposedly in the blood that they drink and eat. If you eat animal flesh, by the way, anybody who's watching, you eat animal flesh, you're getting adrenaline. That's in the flesh. You're fucking with your hormones. Okay, that's why everybody who does meat eventually goes on steroids. All these bodybuilders doing chicken and rice, steak and potatoes, they end up on steroids because the body cuts down its own production by your own glands because you keep on putting the animal steroids in yourself by eating meat. The body slows down its own production, and then when you get to a certain age, you fucking crashed out and you got to get injected with steroids. And everybody who's talking about, oh, carnivore diet, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because everybody who's promoting it in the fitness and health industry, they're all jacked up on juice, injected, compromised, slave to the drug industry. And you'll never get the truth out of them, because they're owned. Frazzle Drip here. This is apparently referring to the video that features Hillary Clinton eating somebody's face. I know, it's sick. Dark to Light, that's the satanic ritual abuse being exposed on the internet. And Spirit Cooking is basically cannibalism. And Petergate is the idea that, you know, there's a global ring of wealthy people who traffic children for these sexual and sacrificial rituals. Oh, God. One marcher held up a placard referencing Pizzagate, a conspiracy theory that alleged Hillary Clinton and Democratic Party politicians were running a pedophile ring out of a Washington pizza restaurant basement. It involved a heavily... Oh, okay. Fuck that. Pizzagate's real. You got MK Ultra in the media. Okay, cannibals. Okay. Some said they fully believed in QAnon and followed every message. Supporters of President Trump. Some people don't like him. I don't like him. And those who said they don't pay attention to politics. Okay, well, I'm probably in the people who don't like him very much. But there's other people that's running that I like even less. So, at least with Trump, you know what you're getting. You know, it's like the enemy you know is better than the enemy you don't know. That's the way I see it. Okay. They all shared a strong suspicion of the establishment. Okay. So this is we the people. We all share a strong suspicion of the establishment, coupled with the belief that there's a deep state of elites who are committing crimes against children with impunity. That is fucking true. And I can pull up a thing right here. It's called the PrEP Act Can't Sue Vaccine Injury. Drug companies continue to shed liability for rushed coronavirus treatments. At least 120 vaccines for COVID-19 are in development around the world, and each one holds its own potential for harm. Yep. I might actually subscribe to this video, this website. Despite experts' repeated warnings that rushing a vaccine could endanger hundreds of millions of people, President Trump has made it clear he wants to fast-track a vaccine. Because he's bought and paid for, obviously, his plan is reportedly to bypass regulatory standards in order to have a vaccine ready before Election Day. What a scumbag. Such a move could bolster his claims that he's saving us from the virus. Oh my God. That's the only way to be saved, is to have somebody fucking shoot you up, right? I want to make a t-shirt. Don't shoot. It's a picture of somebody's hands up to a needle. But what happens if you get harmed? According to a law passed this spring, pretty much nothing. An amendment to the PrEP Act, which was updated in April, stipulates that companies cannot be sued for money damages in court over injuries caused by medical countermeasures for COVID-19. Such countermeasures include vaccines, therapeutics, and respiratory devices. The only exception to this immunity is if death or serious physical injury is caused by willful misconduct. And even then, people who are harmed will have to meet heightened standards for willful misconduct that are favorable to defendants. Let's read that one more time. And then we'll go back to Pizzagate and Petergate. An amendment to the PrEP Act, which was updated in April, stipulates that companies cannot be sued for money damages in court over injuries caused by medical countermeasures for COVID-19. Such countermeasures include vaccines. One more time. The PrEP Act stipulates that companies cannot be sued for money damages in court over injuries caused by vaccines. Deep state elites who are committing crimes against children with impunity. Is that the same thing or not? What do legitimate charities say? Nah, I don't want to hear any of that bullshit. Why is it appealing to women? I'm just going to assume that it's about children because they're caring for their kids. You know? God forbid you get a vaccine and your fucking kid dies. God forbid. God save us. Growth continues. In terms of size and appeal, the British movement is still fringe compared to the US, where the conspiracy has leaked into the mainstream. A number of politicians who have endorsed QAnon, and they're set to win seats in Congress and state or local legislatures in November. Hell yeah. But the growth of QAnon in the UK also shows no sign of stopping. Every Sunday, they broadcast on Facebook Live to update members about their group here, FFTC UK. I think I'm going to actually go subscribe to that now. Where is it? Freedom for the Children UK. Alright, so I'm going to go subscribe to Freedom for the Children UK. And I'll post on there and see if I can teach them about how the English diet is not saving the children. You know what I mean? There's a conspiracy and then there's levels to the conspiracy. At some point you got to take personal responsibility. As above, so below. What's going on in the world is going on inside each and every one of us. You have a child inside. Are you taking care of your child? Trust me, I'm doing my best. I don't do everything perfectly because this is the first time that I'm aware of that I have this body. So, you know, I was traumatized. I had abuse and I have to undo that abuse, and some of it is, you know, deep seated. It's deep state inside myself that I have to fix. So, you know, just know that the one thing I will never do is give up. I may eat, you know, I don't eat junk food, that's for sure, but I'll never give up. I may have eaten, you know, when I should be fasting, but I will never give up, and I'll be successful because I'm on a mission from God, and I believe that, you know, that's unstoppable. That energy is unstoppable. It's forever. It endures through all. It's like a fireball going through space. A laser beam, you know, through the phone to you. If you have any questions about food, nutrition, fitness, Q, fucking Save the Children, Pizzagate, relationships, I don't know, whatever, art, or if you just want to chat, hit me up anytime. Go to MasterLuki.com, about page, you got all my contact info there. Thanks for watching. I'm just about 2,000 view hours on my channel, so I'm halfway to monetization. I got some really cool plans about live broadcasting my events coming up. So stay tuned for more exciting action right here. Master Luki, over and out.